Hi, everybody. We're back with part 2 with Lisa on retail. As everyone knows who watches these videos, I hate going past 5-6 minutes because I think we wane in our ability to soak up the information. But we're back with Lisa Starr from Wynne Business. Hello, Lisa. I look forward to seeing you
Hey,
at the
Allan.
great show coming up too.
Thank you.
Okay, people, watch part 1 of Retail with Lisa and I, because if you missed it, some of this might be a foreign language. But Lisa, as I keep writing the notes, it's so critical, this understanding of ratios and sales and position description, and having it led me to the thought that I wanted to address with you is most of the people in our industry did not grow up in retail. Will you address how you have to be absolutely crystal clear in your communication to staff about this?
So we mentioned in part 1 about the importance of setting that stage early when you hire someone. I mean, if you're so focused on their service and their audition and you don't look at their people skills and communication and selling, then you get a provider who's really great at providing the treatment, but not so good at the retail follow-up. So it has to be woven in from recruiting to interviewing, hiring, and then training, as we touched on. And it doesn't stop. You know, there's this continual role play and modeling of behaviors. I really like to catch people doing something right, you know, when they make a sale and how they connect with the person and say, see, you did that, can you do that again? But the metrics part is because we can't just come in, you know, that saying, if you don't have a map, anywhere will get you there. I mean, our people, they know they're supposed to sell and they're happy to do it, but they aren't driven to do it the way owners are. So when they have a number every week that they're handed in some method to say, here's what we expect from you this week, let us know how we can help you get there, you're much more likely to get the performance that you're looking for.
All right, let me challenge one thing that you just said, and I made it, which is, you know, we expect them to sell. And yes, manager, owner, supervisor, of course, this is part of the process, because somebody's boss is going to want to look at the numbers and say, why are we not selling retail? We have $25,000 worth of product in the front of the house and nobody is selling anything. But right. How many times have you heard, you didn't hire me to sell, or I don't sell? Mm-hmm. So that's addressing that stuff up front, right?
Right. I mean, many people say that because they don't feel they were, and that is why I think it's so important to set the stage early on the need to retail. And why do we need to retail? Let's not even go back into why you have to do it from a personal standpoint, but if we have a client leave our salon or spa with a product, they're more likely to return. They have a product to remind them of us on their bathroom shelf. They see it every morning. They use it every day. They think of us. It's a way that builds client retention. It's an ancillary sale. It's a sale that doesn't need an appointment. Maybe they'll come back in 3 weeks for more without having an appointment. And hey, maybe when they're there, they'll buy something else. So this is why we need to have that retail stream coexist alongside the service revenue.
Okay, and that also makes for a well-rounded, successful organization. Our friend Cece with all the spas down in Atlanta, she says she doesn't remember, but I famously remember her saying to me, we look at ourselves as a retail boutique that also does spa treatments, even though they're really in the spa business. But she said people come into their facilities and they come in sometimes and they buy retail and they've never had a spa treatment. So it's really critical that those two things line up together. I made a note that said, and because you're very clear about this, you have to set the expectations, but you also, the understanding by the therapist about how this fits into their position description. I just can't say enough about how clear you need to be in that realm.
I have position descriptions for every position, and they're at least a full page long, single spaced. And so most providers think their job is, I come in, I touch people, I go home. Right? But what about the helping with the laundry, or counting the inventory, or coming to a meeting, or, you know, being professional in your demeanor, contacting your guests? Oh, and by the way, keeping your retail sales up. I mean, so you've got to make sure everything you need regularly is clear from the beginning.
Yeah. Lisa, do you think that making money is a topic of conversation when you're hiring staff so that we understand if there's a motivation there for them?
Making money for the business or the person?
Well, for them, first, the business always, but you need a therapist to think about, do they want to make money, right?
One of my questions in interviewing is always, tell me about your compensation targets or needs. I want to know, do they have one? I mean, are they even thinking about that? And if so, can we meet it? I think this is a question for early on in any hiring conversation, because maybe they say, I'd like to make $200,000, and you say, oh, that's wonderful, but I can't pay that. So we don't need to waste time. But I do want to know that they have a number and that they plan to hit. And then we get into, well, how do you plan to do that? I mean, we're going to supply the place and the tools, but you have to actually do the work.
Okay, last thing I want to finish up this quick Wellness Minute video with. You said something in part one of retail, which I think is still so critical. You said you like to catch people doing things right. That is so underused in our industry. Well, probably in life in general, if I can make it larger. Catch them doing something right.
Well, to do that, you have to be a manager who wanders around and isn't stuck in an office, obviously. But instead of constantly telling them what they're not doing, which doesn't really make them want to do it better, as surveys show, that is not the way to build up employees. It's to say, wow, see that sale you just made? What did you do? How did you get into the conversation? Let's bottle that and recreate it for the next time. But you've got to always be around the front with your ears out to catch those moments. I think that it's more powerful when you do it that way.
Okay, stick around for the next video. Lisa and I are going to go into front desk, which is always one of my favorite subjects. But Lisa, we could do probably a whole day on train the trainer, because now we're talking about that management needs to know how to carry that conversation on with staff, but we're going to save it for another day. Again, thank you a ton for your time. It's an endless discussion, and I'm always happy to have it with you.
I'm happy to be here. Thanks, Allan.